our differences shouldn't be, a cause. It should rather probably be a blessing. You get what I mean? It should be our strength. Unity in its words. What is unity without respect? However, over time, before the advent of the APC, Egbekegbe, at least that was the word I grew up in, though, right? Before the advent of the APC, Egbekegbe, so you always have this cultural display, cultural exchanges, and all of that in our schools and all that, in a way to probably get us, familiar with the country that we're growing up in until APC Egbekegbe came recently, and it's still ongoing though. The Ronukus were busy on social media, right? Um, Nearly causing this their probably like a tribal war, sort of, nearly. Simply because an Igbo girl, an American Nigerian, I've been a Nigerian American, I don't know, but she's an American, right? So she's into art, and she had this exhibition scheduled for uh, time, I think this month in Lagos. And in that, right, she was like a Lagos cultural, blah, blah, blah blend. Okay. And the Ronokus became very angry. They said they were doing cultural appropriation, that people should not touch anything Yoruba, because Yoruba's always called Owambe, Owanibe. There's nothing called Owambe. It must be Owambe. That one nearly caused social media earthquake. I mean, a social media quake. It was that big enough that they threatened that that event must never hold in Lagos. It is an insult on the Yorubas for an Igbo girl to be appropriating our cultural. So the Gbaja and his gang, they are aware, very much aware. In that speech of his, he referenced that by saying, oh yeah, we've had this cultural mix, this and that, and it's part of our strength. But on the other side, with what is playing out, even right under his nose, as it is so very much like evident all over the social media, he glossed over it. And then it was like, oh, our culture, our tradition, this and that, they are so beautiful. That's in context, right? They are so beautiful that the rest of the world have been trying to either copy or to learn it, to celebrate it in particular, which is true. You're going to see people from all over the world, right, who have picked either one cultural, traditional connection in every part of Nigeria. Do you understand? And in the process, either through marriages, partnership, or even cultural exchanges and all of that. So over time, you get to see non-Nigerians who are even so proud of some of the traditions in Nigeria or cultures in Nigeria. Some have actually made fortune from exporting same to the Western world. And people are always like, people like me now, if I go to, for example, let's say I am like on holiday, for example, to somewhere in Europe, and then I attend probably a local market and all that, and then there they are, Nigerian wears, maybe dresses, maybe some of our jewelries, and all of those cultural stuff. Then you're like, as if to say you've never seen them before, right? And you want some, probably that moment, you just want some, you want to take away with you. That could be like amulet and what have you. So they've never really been a problem about that until this um, APC, Egbekegbe, and the Ronukus all over the place, okay, who have now become so sensitive, so to say. And the sensitivity is mostly against the Igbos. And because people believe that these people I personally too believe that they are politically sponsored, because they were never like this. Now it is, and it's going to probably get worse. We know why too. So by they are talking about unity in that sense, glossing over it, and then going ahead again to say something about we shouldn't appropriate our cultural stuff. You're going to hear that part too, right? It's going to say, you know what, in this our differences, blah, 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 blah. We should try not to be appropriating other people's cultural stuff. That's the way I heard it. Maybe you should listen in that part of the speech as well. Gbaja is talking about unity.
Our history is fraught with actions and reactions that continue to breed and foster resentment. For those of us of a certain age, this is our inheritance. But we are not condemned to leave the same legacy to our children. So what must we do? We must talk to rather than scream at one another. We must listen to rather than hear one another. We must forgive whatever age-long grievances for the sake of our children. Nation building, as I've always said, is a joint task. That task goes beyond building roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals. Nation building is about forging a sense of common identity and purpose among citizens. It is about nurturing institutions that are fair, transparent, and just. It is about creating opportunities for all citizens, north, south, east, and west, to thrive regardless of their background. Nation building is about ensuring that in the application of our laws and in our ordinary interactions as citizens, we reflect due reverence for the traditions, religions, cultures, values, and institutions of others, recognizing that people hold dear those totems of identity and will always respond in terrible ways when they appear to be threatened, appropriated, or otherwise belittled. Nation building is a continuous process from one generation to another. We are engaged in a never-ending process of defining who we are and what matters to us. Nation building is not the work of government alone. Every citizen, every institution, and every person here at home or in diaspora who has a stake in the Nigerian project also has a responsibility to help build this nation. Yes, the government has an obligation to lead the way by modeling the outcomes we wish to see and become part of our national culture. That is why the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a matter of policy and practice, is committed to a governance that is fair, transparent, and inclusive. For the first time in our nation's history, the 6 geopolitical regions in the country now have dedicated development commissions with a mandate to channel federal resources to develop and implement infrastructural and human capital development.
Did you see his countenance when he was talking about, you know, how we all hold our cultural, traditional, religious, and all those beliefs, and we tend to fight back when those things are threatened? Could you decode that, yeah? It is just to give a bit of a shout out to the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, saying, hey guys, even though I'm talking about unity, that there is no Hausa, there is no Igbo, there is no Yoruba, we are all one Nigeria and all of that, and we need unity in this country, blah, 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 blah. I'm still going to tell them that if you feel threatened that anybody's coming to come and take your religion, your tradition, your culture, you feel threatened, or anybody is trying to appropriate, the word appropriating your culture simply means, make I tell you, right? Appropriation, okay? Simply means like, I am a Yoruba man, an Ijebu man, right? So if I decided to just, for instance, let's say I love the epic cultural, maybe dances or food or, those kind of a thing. Like, I just kind of like love the epic people. right? And in my wardrobe, you're going to see some ethnic traditional wears. Do you get that now? And somebody who is an ethnic is upset. Why is this Ijebu man dressing like an ethnic man? You are threatening me, oh. Because before you know it now, all these Yorubas, all these Ijebus, they will begin to say they are ethnic. Oh, Ijebus are coming to try to come and take over ethnic people. Kind of must be mental illness, right? It must be. While the real threat, by the way, right, that is in general, universal with evidence, is that of the armed Fulani terrorist and their sponsor, the Boko Haram terrorist and their sponsor, and every other terror group that have been sponsored in that contraption. They are the existential threats. Verified. Somebody who want to dress like an Igbo man. Suddenly an Igbo man is angry. Why would this Hausa man dress like Igbo? This is what these Hausa people like to do. Now, small thing now, they will be claiming that they are Igbos. Rough. And you're sure you don't have mental problem. This is my own kind of understanding, but an average Ronuku will disagree with me, which is okay. It's all right. But we're just trying to reason here. Cultural appropriation. You know, why are you calling it Owambe? Because there is no in Yoruba. That's how dunce and retarded it can be to be a Ronuku. Your education won't matter. I just did it's a sound, isn't it? Oloronimbe. Mamora. That's a popular name. I'm just saying, right? But majority of them, as retarded as they choose to be, do all this caution into the air, and they were raging, angry. How can you be? You are insulting the Yorubas. You are not respecting your host. We are telling you that it is Owambe. It is not Owambe. I mean, come on. Cultural appropriation. And they are so angry in gaslighting those of you Yorubas as well. Because if you feel like, what's between all this madness? They will say, you this Yoruba Libra. I think they have a name for people like, they say, you are Yoruba Libra. These people are trying to take over our land. These people are trying to dominate us. These people are, and you are here speaking English. This one, you are just an anomaly. Instead of you to stand up and join them in the hate, kind of like a crusade. And you're like, okay, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to, where do you want me to start? Anyway, just anything where you just say no. It's crazy, right? Now, this is the final part where Gbaja actually toasted his colleagues by kind of having them to see, after having said all of this, Tinubu has been very fair. He has created commissions. He has given jobs. He has balanced the economy. And right now, for peace and unity of Nigeria, it is better for him to do second term. And we hereby endorse him. Yeah, of course, they endorsed him. Call for second term. Yeah.
Why are we here? Now, honorable colleagues, this hall right here is reminiscent for me of the chambers where we all sat together once upon a time, whether the green chambers or the red chambers. We sat not as Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba, but as legislators who swore an oath and who were pushed to uphold the unity of Nigeria. Now let's take that principle that we all sat with while we're in the chambers, outside, into the real world, so we can stay united and keep Nigeria united. Let's work together with and for our president, is not. Many have preferred arguments that let the South finish its 8 years. Let the Southwest complete the 8 years. Let President Tinubu complete the 8 years of the South. Many have said that. That argument has been canvassed, it has been made, and it continues to be made. That argument cannot be faulted. And I support it wholly for sake of unity, fairness, and equity. But beyond that, there's an even more compelling argument. So it's a twofold argument. One, equity, justice, and unity. But there's an even more compelling argument that is to be made and to be pressed home. What is that argument? Our president, unlike any before him, is bold enough. He has taken bold steps to hit the reset button towards a better Nigeria. He's taking bold and audacious decisions in retooling and restructuring our economy and in re-engineering our finances. He is playing the long game. Let us rise as legislators and support him fully. In the words of our national anthem, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And in the pledge of our allegiance, we declare our intent to defend her unity and uphold our honor and glory. These are not just words. They are a solemn commitment and a call to action. Therefore, brothers and sisters, citizens and patriots, let us rise from this day with renewed determination to build a Nigeria where unity is a lived reality, where our diversity is our greatest strength, and where generations yet unborn will be proud to travel the ends of the earth and declare with confidence, like the Romans of old, I am a Nigerian.
That's why I called him. No, I'm going to come at you. Stay away. So that's why I called him the Surulere Aristotle the second. He's delivered. He's actually doing his job. Oh. Do you understand? Like he's doing the job as the chief of staff to Tinubu. And he's not expected to probably deliver less anyway. His job is to give everybody, somebody like him is believed to have access to the, to the best information about what is going on in Nigeria. He is next to Tinubu. By definition of their hierarchy, he is actually the most powerful person in Nigeria. Like Abba Kyari. Remember him? The difference between Abba Kyari and this one was that this one is a politician. Abba Kyari then was said to be a technocrat, like all this ambassadorial stuff, right? Yeah, like, so you don't get to see much of him. You only feel him. So this Gbaja is that powerful. His chief of staff means the person that recommended somebody, the last clearance, they recommended somebody to be appointed into any position and every position in that contraption on that Tinubu. If they made 10,000 appointments, they had to pass through the office of Gbaja. Yeah, he is that powerful. And I don't really probably have to go into details of that. So he's doing his job. giving them the talking point,